Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mould promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Welcome.
Strange that.
Welcome.
What
now?
Did it all broke up for you? No, because it was all broken up for me.
No, it didn't break up for me. Shocking.
It does. It started off with a stare, and then it ended up here, and I've never seen any of the trailer whatsoever.
No, it was playing for me just fine.
Strange. Mysteries of the universe, ladies and gentlemen. Mysteries of the universe. Who have we got in the chat tonight? We have Dots MC. Are you away making your T dots? We have.
He said he's already got it made.
Oh, we really got Stephanie. We have Emerald Isles Paranormal. Hello, Jenny. Like that. Ken that I'm having to read it off my YouTube. I'm having to read it off my YouTube because I can't see it on here. Weird that. Go Squad Scotland. They'll get a handsome chap in the chat.
Oh, that's the one ugly motherfucker right there.
No. Handsome. I seen a picture of you today, and I was like, oh my God, you have not changed. You were sitting, I think it was your sister, and your mother had posted a picture, and you were sitting like a rock face. I don't know where it was. I never read it. And I thought to myself, so Jesus, he's not changed much.
Oh, yeah. That was in the Snake River Canyon.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
So, subject tonight, which is quite an interesting subject. I've actually been thinking about this all week because of the amount of arseholes in the paranormal they knew that have annoyed me.
It's an understatement that there's definitely a problem that needs to be addressed.
Oh, you're right about that. It's a fucking joke.
It is.
It is getting to the point now where people are getting bullied. Okay, I mean, people are getting bullied. Mm-hmm. They're getting their ideas stole for them just because these men think they think they're all powerful and they're famous and all that kind of shit. But to be really honest with you, some of them are utter shite at what they do.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not just men either. There's plenty of women who are
that's very true.
Taking advantage of situations like the Me Too movement where everybody's going to assume, oh, she's the woman, she must be the victim as well. Mm-hmm. We can't ignore that mess either.
Oh, there's a lot. I'm going to say this. There's bullying going against people right now in the paranormal, especially on Facebook and stuff like that. And it's men and women that are doing it against other women and other men. Just because they don't fit in. Or they don't fit their narrative, or they'll not follow the leader, the great leader, the bow to them, you know? Mm-hmm. Just because they'll not follow them. Yeah?
And, I mean, it's not just with ghosts or psychic groups. It's within UFO that are getting entire fan bases are rallying around people just spreading this hate. Mm-hmm.
It's like
I honestly don't fucking get it, man.
It's like Jenny. It's happened to Jenny quite a lot, guys, in the chat there. Emerald Isles Paranormal. What happened to her was absolutely disgraceful, and the folk I am really, really annoyed with. I'm really annoyed with, and it's not just bullying. It's folk pestering folk because they want to go with you.
Oh yeah,
it's sexual here. By the way, there's people in this community on Facebook that are actually stalking people, and they're married.
Oh yeah.
It's shocking.
And It is to be expected when you have an entire community that only ever meets up online because of social awkwardness. For God's sakes, people, one, stand up, clip the roots out your ass, and go outside and explore the world a little bit.
Yeah.
One, two, just because it's online does not mean it's anonymous. Even if you use a VPN, all that, you can still be tracked.
I must admit, some of them, they've put a lot of effort into it, because I've banned 3 of them in the last 3 weeks for Go Squad Scotland network, and they're trying to. But what got me is the guy never changed his profile picture. I mean, what an idiot! I mean, you don't think I'm going to notice the profile picture here? I mean, it's getting to the point where people are getting stalked just because, one, they're jealous of them, 2, they're obviously no right in the head. Honestly, I really want to say their names, and I'm really, really annoyed. To quote, I really am annoyed by the way some of the people in the chat, especially Jenny's, been treated in the last couple of weeks. It's absolutely fucking shocking.
What are you talking about? The last couple of weeks, we've seen it ourselves. Just because there's people that we've clashed with that got into such an obsessive stalking mode.
Yeah, there's Jenny's post in the chat there.
It's fake up.
What's that Jenny's saying in the chat?
Up. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we see it too, Jenny. And it's people in the chat. Please read the chat. It's true what Jenny says. It will not stop until these people have came forward. It's ridiculous, honestly. Why is there people stalking? I mean, the married people stalking single people. She's not single anymore because Jenny. I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but Jenny's actually my girlfriend, and it really, really annoying me. Really annoying me. But what's been going on, and it's been allowed to be going.
Yeah. There's such a mob mentality that goes into these groups. It is honestly why I hate working with mass groups of people when it comes to this type of subject. I always have. I mean, I'll be honest, since I was a kid, the only complaint a lot of my teachers had is that I didn't play well with others. It's because this shit keeps happening. It does not do jack shit. We're not progressing anything. We're not advocating anything. We're trying to monetize on something that has nothing to be able to quantify, so people can't. The people are under this assumption that they can't be called out for their BS. And I'm sorry, these fucking predators need to be put in their place.
I know it's not just sexual predators, guys. You've got bullies. You've got bullies in the paranormal because they're men. They think they'll no date to like other men. Well, sometimes they will, but they'll pick on the women that are actually really good at what they do, and they get jealous, and then they pick on them because they're better than them. Jealousy.
They build up this entire reputation. I mean, some of the most intelligent women that we have had on the show get it on the daily basis. They have entire people that are obsessively stalking them, rallying up their troops. First off, I'm going to say this. If you feel the need to preach on social media that and just whine and complain and try to target individuals just because for some reason you can't be an adult and say, hey, we got a problem, let's fix this. No, you got to go on social media screaming like a pathetic little bitch and try to rally up the troops. You are not brave for speaking out like that. You are a fucking coward if you are not willing to stand up for a cause on your own. If you feel the need to rally the troops, you're a fucking coward.
What I get really annoyed is that the paranormal community, the UFO community, and the ghost community are all the same because it's paranormal. UFOs are classed as paranormal, stuff like that, right? Is that we're trying to figure out the truth. We're trying to figure out if there's life after death. We're trying to find out the truth, and with the alien stuff, we're trying to find out the truth too. But there's people so possessive. There's people in there just wanting power and wanting fame. They want to be on. They want to be on TV so they can matter about and go, "Oh, look at me! I'm famous. Oh, look at me!" That's what they want. That's why they're doing this. I'll never be famous. I will probably never be famous, guys, and I don't particularly care if I am. But there's these people out there that are complete wankers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what's that Jenny's put in the chat there. It's just popped up for me. They packed and built. I've read that one. Unfortunately, I've read this one. I am not afraid to call them out. If anyone wants evidence, that's right. Go to Jenny because she's got plenty of evidence, guys. Just go to
because
Jenny
social media nowadays is all they know. Yeah. And
exactly.
this jealousy, I mean, to kind of bounce off of what Chris was just saying, we're allegedly trying to figure out, grand mysteries of the universe, life after death. Is there, why do people believe that they're being abducted by aliens?
Yeah.
But we're having to waste time and energy because of this argument, of this drama, of complete sexual predators. I mean, how many times has someone been targeted by a fraudulent psychic?
Oh my God.
How many young children? I mean, this was a report that came my way a couple months ago about this little girl who was sexually assaulted by one of her friend's fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Because the friend's father faked his phone number, pretending to be a psychic, trying to convince this little girl that she must have sex with this older man in his 40s to prevent some great cataclysm. This girl was fucking 8 years old.
Yeah, I know.
How are we supposed to be able to figure things out? What's actually real if these predators are not stopped?
I'm going to say this now. Facebook is really bad. There's a lot of groups out there where I wouldn't even go into, right? I wouldn't go into it. I left them because they were full of bullies and predators, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll never go back because I was talking to quite a few important folk about this actually, and they were shocked at what was going on. And it's what pisses me off. There's folk out there, right, and they're really good at what they do. I'm jumping after the sexual predator thing for a sec, and on to people at Dayblood Podcast. There's people out there that are amazing, right, that do podcasting, right, and then the men get jealous, right, because they're pish at what they do, right, and then they pick on them, and they try and get you to bow down to them. And you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, because I'm a man. No, this needs to stop, guys. A woman is the same as a man is the same as a woman. Get a grip. Come on, it's modern times. We're not living in Victoria in London. Get what I mean? It's come on. It's getting to the point now where women should have equal rights. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I've left a few groups in the last year. I've unfriended a few folk and I've left a few groups because it's been lit to go with the people that run these groups. It's been lit to keep happening. They don't care as long as they're getting other views and stuff like that. Exactly. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
It's become all about fucking numbers, not who is in those numbers. That's all it is to these people.
Yeah.
That kills everything. If you're going into this type of thing, podcasting for whatever reason, that doesn't even have to be paranormal related. If you do it just because you're going for numbers, okay, maybe you'll hit it big. I mean, look at that Mr. Beast. I mean, just about every YouTuber... They respect him as a decent person, but they also know for a fact he's not doing it for the fun. A lot of people say Mr. Beast flat out killed YouTube.
Oh yeah,
for everybody else.
Yeah, he's loaded. They say he's a billionaire now or something like that. It's look,
richest YouTuber on the planet.
Yeah, he doesn't care. You see him get in and helping all these folk, right? He doesn't care about these folk. He's doing it so he can make money. He's no stupid. I'll give him that. I'll give him his credit. He's done well.
He's done well. He's done good operation, and he's done a lot of good with it. I respect the hell out of that.
But look, I'm going to say this. It's like somebody said in the chat: the paranormal community, the UFO community, the UFO community. I respected a few people in the UFO community, but no. I mean, there's a lot of authors out there that have went after other people in the UFO community. I mean, they've actually spent time to go and look up files and then post it everywhere. I mean, I was going to get this person, I'm not going to name him, but I was going to get this person on my show. And I seen this and I thought, he's bullying this guy. Maybe this guy is what he is. I don't know. I'm no psychic. I can't tell. And they were going on about this famous UFO person that worked for the Ministry of Defence. And
okay, you basically just named who it is without name who he is, because there's only one prominent figure.
Aye, well, there you go. So they were going on about this, right? And I'm like, come on, man. We're all in this to try and find out the truth. Why are you digging all this stuff up? So what? If he's doing these TV shows. And I'll tell you exactly why this person did that. Is because that person is getting to be on TV. And because that person is also getting to meet all these people and he's making loads of money. And that other author, or whoever it was, right, is sitting there thinking, oh, if I name and shame him, maybe they'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. And that's how it works in the paranormal field too, guys. That is, I don't know if you've ever noticed, you'll get channels, right? Like ghost hunting groups, right? And they'll just be getting normal views. But then if an argument starts, right, the drama starts, they get loads and loads of views because folk love drama. Folk love drama, right? And, and there's a lot of people deliberately do this. And there's a lot of people out there in the paranormal community that I didn't know that have faked a lot of stuff. Fake things. Yeah. The fake stuff. And then they blame someone else for it. Right? And honestly, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done now, guys. I honestly don't give a fuck if they unsubscribe from my YouTube channel. I don't care. Somebody needs to say something because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. What's your opinion on this, Dakota?
I'm going to say this. Well, I agree with what you say, that it does get ridiculous. There's such... Now, I'm going to say this. I understand and fully support if there is someone out there who is being malicious with their intentions. They intend to screw people over.
It's true, but it's true what Pete says there, son of the naked Bigfoot. And your dad actually did tell us that. Your dad actually did tell us that. I admired your dad. I'll bring it up. Dad kept drama free and had no patience for fakers and assholes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, Pete. That's what I admired about your dad. I loved your dad for that, because he would come on the shows and he would talk about all these fake paranormal folk like Zach Bagans and other people out there that fake everything. And that's what's destroying the paranormal community. Thank you, Pete, by the way. And everybody, please subscribe to Pete's channel, because he's got to be taking over for his dad. So hopefully there'll be some videos coming out there soon. You know?
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true.
But Pete's got a good channel, guys. Pete, if nobody knows, is Mike, the Naked Bigfoot's son. And it was true that what Mike said. Mind the show he did, and he was going on about the fake paranormal investigators.
Yep.
And I couldn't stop laughing because he was going on about the ghosts were touching me. The ghosts were touching me. But they were just... See, this is what I mean. The world's fucked. The world is honestly fucked. That's why society's breaking down. Society's breaking down because nobody's willing to work with each other. Everybody just wants fucking fame.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about anybody else. And that's honestly, I've unfriended a lot of people in the last couple of weeks because I don't want nothing to do with it. But at the same time, I'm extremely pissed off with what's happened to people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard evidence of these things. I've seen evidence of these things. And I was like, fuck. I honestly just don't know.
Hey, I'll say this, there's a number of cases I've come across where these sorts of allegations came up, and all I genuinely have to say is if these people are genuinely doing these things, then show evidence. Don't just start spreading it because that just looks bad on you.
What's this here? Son of the Naked Bigfoot. Let's have a look. After Dad died, we were see. That's what I mean. I seen that, Pete. I seen them contacting you, and you put out a tweet about that. I mean, what is God? I wish I could get a hold of them. I really do. Your dad was an amazing person, and again, it's coming up close to when he passed. It's Halloween. It was around about Halloween when he passed, and your dad taught me a lot. Your dad did teach me a lot, and honestly, see folk just doing stuff like that. Just honestly,
they know
so many fakers out there.
They know there's a market in this, and that's why I've always tried to bring in the topic of artificial intelligence because of how good some of that stuff is, and how easy it's going to be for that to be misconstrued as fake. I mean,
except they can't understand the Scottish language.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the one thing that's keeping you safe, but we'll see how long that lasts.
But there's Son of the Naked. We told the parties to fuck up. Exactly, Pete. And I'll tell you something, if they come on your land, I hope you use force to get rid of them because they should not be on your land annoying you. Right? I seen that. It must be terrible. It must be terrible. I mean, you lost your dad and then these arseholes come out the woodwork sniffing about paranormal investigators and stuff, wanting to use his stuff to make them famous. Get what I mean? Thank you, Pete, for coming on the night.
And unfortunately, the shit Mike was getting into could kill. That's the other part. That's the other thing that needs to be addressed, though.
I'm going to say this: the stuff that Pete's dad, Mike the Naked Bigfoot, was a professional in what he did. A professional, right? He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing with like possessions and exorcisms and ghost hauntings and all this kind of stuff. And today with Bigfoot and all these strange creatures, he was a professional, right? And for somebody to come along after he dies and take the stuff that he's worked for is terrible, right? Don't go into this kind of stuff, guys, without knowing what you're doing. Mike was a professional, right? I mean, I was blown away with the stuff that he told me. I mean, good God. And I know his sons took over for him, and I know his son's very intelligent like his dad, and he knows the same stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's Mike's kid.
Yeah, you can definitely tell Pete's Mike's dad. But honestly, don't go to these places. If somebody says you're no welcome, don't go. Because either Bigfoot will get you, or Mike's son Pete will get you. Right? Honestly, don't steal other people's work.
I mean, that's another thing that ought to be addressed. If you're going to go out to a location, make sure you got the permission to be there in the first place. I mean, it's one thing if it's a public place, anybody can go there. I know that, over on the other side of the pond, there's not really a lot of restrictions on that. But here in the States, even the liberal states will shoot you.
Oh, I've heard that. In Scotland, it's different. You can walk in. I mean, I tell Mike that one night. I says, in Scotland here, you can walk through anybody's farmland. It's law. You if they try and stop you, they would get arrested. But see, in America, it's totally different, guys. You walk through somebody's farmland, they can legally shoot you if you get. Okay, I mean, can they legally shoot you? Which states can they legally they can shoot out your head? Can how does this work?
Okay. You got to remember the way the U.S. works. We're basically a bunch of small countries pretending to be one big country. Okay, not too different from the UK in that sense. Certain states, if yes, you can fire off warning shots. Yes, you can technically get away with killing trespassers, but there's also certain areas where the person who starts firing would get in more trouble. Yeah. It depends on where you're at.
It's like what the son of the naked Bigfoot says down there, Pete. Lots of, what is that? Clout chasers out dad's name to try and legitimize their bullshit. Exactly, Pete. Exactly. And see, if you're watching this and you watch some of Mike's stuff and you think, oh, I'm going to drive up to that farm and I'm going to go into his ground and I'm going to look for Bigfoot, I'm going to advise you this. Do not fucking do it. You're trespassing for one. Two, Pete will probably be waiting on you. Do not do it, right? These things are real, guys. This is what I mean. There's folk watch me, right? And there's folk watch me and they're like, is Bigfoot real? Is Bigfoot? Bigfoot is very real. Bigfoot is very, very real. Pete was actually telling me he was telling everybody, I can't remember, was it on Twitter? Well, it's not called Twitter anymore, but you came on Drift. He was telling me they had some livestock killed.
Oh, yeah. He said that on the air. I think it was.
But no, it's happened again. It's happened again since.
Still? God damn.
Yeah, it's happened again.
I was about to say, Mike's come on the show, said he's physically seen these things with teeth that look like they were filed down like cannibal tribes out of the Amazon. Take a bite out of the cow, throw the cow over its shoulder, and walk off like nothing happened.
Yeah. So I'm going to suggest to anybody that watches these videos, because again, there is people in here favoring about what Mike Buzz and stuff like that. Don't go into the land. And if you do, you better pray Pete finds you first, because these things will eat you.
No, they can. Well, what a lot of people don't realize, different tribes of Bigfoot have different behaviors. There's someone who tried to say, they'll talk about them smelling bad and being brutal. That's, just trying to talk smack. No, it's not. Those reports are real. Now, where I'm at, they're fairly mellow. They'll leave you alone. There's not really a lot of reports of anything nasty happened. And there was, back when I was like 9 years old, there was actually a 911 call where someone called in thinking that they hit Bigfoot with their car. Granted, if I was a big-ass motherfucking gorilla and I just got hit by a car, I'd be pretty pissed and want to tear apart that car.
I will say this. Where Mike stayed was a beautiful part of the American countryside, right? But if I stayed there, I'd be kind of paranoid, because you don't know what's watching you in those woods. You don't know what's watching you.
I know.
What were the animals that were killed, Pete? What were they again? Was it goats killed? I can't remember what you told me. It was on TikTok and on Twitter. What were the animals that get killed? Been working up.
They've been worked up the last through. That's not good.
See, it makes you wonder what's caused that, because your dad had to deal with them, and it makes you wonder. Pete, is anybody coming to your property? Is anybody legally trespassing on your property, maybe?
You got to here. There's also another thing you got to consider. Not too far from where Pete's at, there are military bases.
That's very true.
And Elena, she's gone into detail about meetings that have been taking place there involving extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
So, what exactly is getting them worked up? There's a lot going on right now.
So please, for the love of God, stay off people's private property. Right? Stay off people's private property. Because unknown to you, you could be causing them hassle. There he says there in the chat, there he says, oh my God, look at that.
Legs and heads pulled off, no blood stacked under the apple tree. Oh, that's
bad.
That's not good.
That is really bad, Pete.
Because
we maybe need to get you on one night and talk about this. That's
if you go into typical primates, chimpanzees, gorillas like that.
Right.
No, I'm now just going to say this.
Chimpanzees are cannibals.
No, they can't. They can be.
Yeah,
they can be.
yeah.
No. What I'm trying to say here is that chimps have tribe wars.
Yes, they do. I know.
They're not these peaceful, loving monkeys. No, if they feel the need to, they will rip you apart. And it's been observed on a few occasions where certain animals that have been in the area have been left in a very similar fashion as threats. Yeah. They fully believe it's some sign of threat of a gang war, for lack of a better word.
I mean, do you think this? I know, but this is not the subject tonight, and maybe we should we talk about this one night. Pete, if you would like to come on and talk about this, you don't need to show your face or anything like that. You can just talk to us with your camera off. But that's actually disturbing. It makes you wonder why they're doing that, because his dad had a deal with him, and they basically left him alone for the apples on the tree. So has there been somebody sneaking onto his property and conducting investigations without his knowledge, and maybe they've got pissed off? See, this is where you have to watch.
This is one of those things where having cameras covering every single inch of every little blind spot, it would be helpful. No, but that's the thing, though. In that type of area, you're not going to be able to cover everything.
Lots of foxfire in the woods, too. What's foxfire? Is that an American term? What's foxfire? I'm Scottish. I don't know what foxfire is. I'm not.
If I remember correctly, it's kind of like ghost lights.
See, I suggested it to him on Twitter that I don't know if he could set up a game camera, one of the night vision game cameras at the apple tree. But it'd probably rip it off and steal it.
No, they would.
That's actually quite interesting. That's like lights. So that's like wee lights that float about.
Yeah, it's also a certain type of fungus that has a bioluminescence to
it. Well, Pete, I hope you can get it fixed, man. I really do.
Yeah, and I know technically this does seem like we're kind of diverging from the topic here, but we're trying to illustrate a point. Not only is this behavior of trying to capitalize on the supernatural, because it's essentially a Wild West, for lack of better words, reckless, dangerous, but it is very dangerous. A lot of people just assume, it's just the little ghosty, maybe we're going to have, just a couple weird voices and cold spots. No. Your lives could very well be put on the line for how serious some of this stuff gets. Yeah, I was just reading that.
What is that? Their cameras are ripped off. Dad spent thousands of digital security, and it was all dismantled in one night.
See?
Found it stacked, and that is crazy. By the way, that is absolute.
You're essentially dealing with 8-foot tall gorillas that have the intelligence spans of humans.
Honestly,
they can be very dangerous when they're pissed off.
I'll tell you something right now. If I was your neighbour, I wouldn't come near your land. I would be terrified to go in his land, because it's. I hope, Pete. I hope you've got a gun in the house or whatever in case something comes near. You probably have. Yeah, I mean,
realize the kind of firepower it takes to take one of those things down.
Pete put something on. What do you call it? Twitter about it, and it was a big high-powered rifle. I think it was for killing elephants or something like that. Yeah. It's
the type of firepower it takes. You're not going to be able to put that down like with a 22.
Yeah,
you're not.
Yeah. So the thing about the story is, guys, stay off private property. Do not think you're going to get fame by going to these places, because you don't understand. You could cause this family, Pete's family, Mike's family, nothing but bother by doing this.
Exactly.
Right? And please, let his father rest in peace, and don't steal any of his work, and don't try and mimic his work unless you've got permission off of Pete. to even talk about his dad, right? They're actually we're talking about doing a show for Pete. No, for Pete. Sorry, Pete. It was your dad for Ken because it's been a year. And I told the ones that's doing it, I says, just be very respectful when you're doing it and actually ask permission first off of Pete. Because it's something you should always do is ask for permission. What's that? Dad found a very few actual ghosts, but things pretended to be ghosts, and they were much more dangerous. Yeah. Do you know the story?
Especially through that land.
In fact, I'm going to find Mike's channel now, and I'm going to post it in the chat. There's a story that Mike did, and it's called The Skinner Man. Yep. You know the one I'm talking about? And that story, actually, I'm going to listen to it again in Halloween. I've no watched it since he passed, because I find it quite hard to watch his stuff since he passed. But guys, honestly, you want to check out Mike's channel, right? Mike's channel was just amazing, right? The stories, the knowledge, everything there. It's in the chat, guys.
What the fuck?
What?
Dude, did anybody just see that? Did you just see that shadow that just flew past me on my camera? Did anybody just see that?
I seen something. I seen it. Do you know what? I did see it, and it was about 36. Did you see the white orb that went out the door?
Whoa!
What time was that? That was at 36 minutes in. There's Jenny, Emerald Isles. She's seen it.
You know, speaking of which, Jenny, that wow. Okay.
Okay, what I did see, like, see behind you, see how you've got your wall and then there's a light shining through your door. I seen like a wee orb like disappearing out the door.
Yeah, figures we get to start talking about Mike and shit's happening.
Well,
hey, what's up, Mike?
honestly, when Mike come on the shows, guys, weird things happens. Mind you, when he started to sound like a Cylon, and then you knew things were.
No, do you remember when we all first met Mike? All the shit that was going down?
Yeah. There's there's a spirit for Dad called the Black Father that walks from the farm and his gravesite. It can be very scary and potential dangerous. Oh my God. Pete, you need to come on the show one night and tell us some of these stories because we really do miss your dad. Your dad used to tell us so amazing stories, man. It would be an honour for you to come on and talk to us. We'd be honoured. And I know you're no one to date the now, but maybe in the coming years, maybe in a couple of years' time or whatever, when you feel ready, we would be honoured to have you on, man. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guys, that link in the chat there is Mike's channel. Please go and subscribe to Mike's channel and watch his videos. And just remember this. Everything he's talking about is real. 100% real. And remember, don't practice things that you don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. I'm going to do that when I go to my bed tonight. I've not watched a Mike's video for a while because I get emotional when I watch his stuff, but I'm going to watch one tonight. I don't know what one I'll pick. I'll just pick a random one. The one where would you call it the snake whisperer one? That's quite good. The night he spoke to the snake. That's a good one. Honestly, guys, check it out and please subscribe to Pete's channel, Son of the Naked Bigfoot, too. You know?
Yeah.
So, back to the subject, bullying and the paranormal. What other things are happening, Dakota?
I mean, honestly, you want to hear something that's fucked up?
Fire away. Well, I drink more.
I put out a little notice not too long ago, and just to kind of gain some perspective on this, because granted, this is a subject not a lot of people want to confront. They want all this discussion to be high vibrational, nothing but love and light and all that and good times. And as much as we want this show to have that sort of platform, sometimes we have to acknowledge that there's some weird shit that goes down and some seriously messed up stuff. Because we're not going to be able to fix the problem until we had the balls to actually talk about it.
There's Son of the Naked Bigfoot. Blackfather has spoken to all of us here after Dad died. It looks like a live person until it disappears. Well, what did it say to you, Pete? If you don't mind me asking, what did it say? Was it Guinea condolences, or was it? Because obviously Pete probably knew it. Hey, Mike knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hey Drew. It's this. Honestly, I just wished the paranormal community could start working together and stop all this fighting and stop all this bullying. What I've seen in the last month or two is shocking, right? And for some other networks out there that I've lost every ounce of respect for, ever, for what's been allowed to happen. And Ken, something I don't give a flying fuck. What you think of me, I'm no caring. I'm not going to be famous like you. You're going to be the next Zach Bagans, maybe. You never know. But do you want to be the next Zach Bagans, known as a fake? You know? Because that's what will happen.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's interesting, Dakota. Pete asked me how I was doing, offered its condolences to Mum. Oh, my God.
Well, at least it was being kind.
That's... Thank you, Pete, for telling us.
No. Chris, like we were talking about before the show.
Yeah.
This situation isn't the first time that we've talked about this. Hell, it's how Bald and Bonkers came to fruition.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, with the company that I didn't like to talk about, Parachills, I'm going to mention it, Parachills. Right. There was a lot of cover up there, and they tried to cover that up. And I mean, oh my God, they actually tried to cover it up when people were finding out. What were we meant to do? Go out there and capture everybody that was finding out? I mean, it was a national fucking press.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, there's been plenty of times where decent efforts have started in order to try to bring people together. And naturally, that's ruffled some feathers, but some good things were going, some utterly amazing things. Some amazing opportunities came about. But I think I can just speak for both of us. It's like, what happens when the work was no longer the focus? It was the focus on building a stupid YouTube channel. Making us look pretty.
What's that Son's put in the chat there?
Told the customer he should leave and never come back. Pulled Uncle Duty off a tractor. Ooh.
Yep. That's a strange one. I wouldn't like to meet him, Pete. Wouldn't like to meet him, that spirit. But then again, yous have lived there, yous were born there, and that farm's been in your family for generations. Yeah, I mean, and it will continue to be in your farm for generations. But the apple tree with the Bigfoot thing, that's something that you're going to have to get sorted out. Because that's just downright crazy. And you don't really want to bring in outside paranormal teams because they'll just use it to become fame. So you have to get your dad's journal out. Is it his big bad book or whatever it's called?
For the situations like that, there's a rapport already established. There's trust there.
Yeah. It makes you wonder why he's doing it, though. I find that very suspicious because your dad had a kind of relationship with him and they kind of stand at their ground, but they were maybe afraid of your dad. Maybe you need to assert yourself as the new boss.
I'm shocked we're not getting the interference we usually did when
that subject came up. That big shadow, maybe that was Mike, wasn't you? You know, I did see it going out the door. It was the wee orb just went out the door.
Yeah. No, it was just like literally just flew right in front of me. That was.
What's that Emerald Isles Paranormal? I had. Did we win? Yes, Emerald Isles Paranormal won last night, ladies and gentlemen. The quiz night. They whipped us. They whipped us completely. Honestly, do you like my new cup? Jenny, my girlfriend, got me it. What do you think? Come on, Dakota. I know you like cups. Come on. Jenny!
Yeah.
Did you know Jenny actually said that? You would roll your eyeballs. You look like you ever seen Gremlins? You ever seen Gremlins? The first one. Don't tell me you've never seen Gremlins. You ever seen the wee furry ones? What are the wee furry gremlins called, guys? What are the wee furry gremlins called before they turn into gremlins?
Mogwai.
Mogwai, right? You can where he rolls his eyes about. Well, that's you. So there you go. There's Mike the Naked Bigfoot, son. We know things hung around and followed Dad. Nothing surprised us. Exactly, huh? Because the little girl used to follow him about, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
as Lawrence says, it's just a matter of just asking the simple questions and being respectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know where that gets lost in all this,
It's Pete's having the same problem. People are wanting to use his dad basically to make themselves famous, right? And which, if you are watching this right now and you are thinking of going on to his land and stuff like that, do not fucking dare. You have no idea the paranormal world, and you have no idea what you're going to do to that family if you do. So I'd advise that you keep well away.
Yeah, and for the just people, like cases that where people go in provoking because they want to be on ghost adventures. Yeah, you may not see something, but that family's still got to deal with the shit when you leave.
99.9% of the stuff you see in TV is fake, right?
It's exaggerated.
It's fake. It's exaggerated. It's fake. It's shit, right? The real life ghost hunters in the chat there's Emerald Isles Paranormal. She's got an amazing channel. You should see some of the footage, and you've seen some of the footage that she's got. Oh my God, it would blow you away. Some of the footage, with Jack the Ripper and all that kind of tours and stuff. And there's people in this community that do a fascinating job, a excellent job, and they don't get the recognition. Then you get the people that think they're amazing, they're famous, and they can think they're going to be the next Zach Bagans, and the fake things, let's for say, like Chuck and Staines and things like that, the fake stuff in that, and to try and get famous. But sometimes it backfires. It backfires.
Oh, yeah.
Son of the Naked Bigfoot. What are you saying here, Pete? Let's have a look. Tacky Bacon. I've heard that as a legend, by the way.
Yeah.
Franken seems to be falling. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the shit going on with Zach Bagans lately. Yeah. I hear Dave Schrader going on about it all the time because people are trying to drag him in, and he's like, "Hey, I'm friends with that guy. I'm friends with that guy."
I will say this to know Dave Schrader is a real ghost hunter. He is good at what he does. The Ghost of the Devil's Perch was really, really good. Toast to Dave Schrader for his good work. But there's paranormal people out there that are 100% fake, and they use the drama.
Why do you think Dave's not on more shows? Because he actually tries to stay legitimate.
Aye, because he stays legitimate. Yeah.
I was like, why do you think he only gets cameos most of these days? Sorry, Dave, if you're watching, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know it's the business. I've been in the business myself, man. I get it.
Your dad
sucks.
There's Pete in the chat saying his dad loved Dave. And that's an episode that I might actually go back and watch, the one with Dave Schrader and your dad, because
we introduced.
In fact, yeah, that was.
I had never seen Mike grin so big.
See that when he first came in. I know this is totally off subject, but see that. Well, I was like, "It says Dave Dave, is it all right if I invite my friend Mike the Naked Bigfoot and he just wants to meet you? And he's like, aye, right. So I invite, he comes in, he's like,
yeah, no, he couldn't take that look off of his face.
Honestly, Pete, you should have seen this, Pete. Honestly, I wish that we could have recorded it. And he was just like,
I was like, hey, no, we brought him on when the show was still on the air, dude. It's out there.
aye, I know. Aye, but behind the scenes, too, it was off again because it was, aye.
I know.
Yeah. And it's, I honestly, that made my day seeing Mike so happy. It really did.
Yeah.
It really did.
It's situations like that need to be focused on. Yeah, they're once in a blue moon, but when you know you've done something to make someone's day or help them out of a bad spot, that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, this is what's needing to happen in this community, guys. Instead of bullying people and instead of trying to become famous, maybe we'll all become famous one day. Maybe you'll know. Try and help people. Yeah. Help people. Be nice to people. Help them. Don't be a dick and cause somebody down just because you're jealous of them.
Yeah. I mean, here, Dots, if he's still in the chat, we can back up this, that because this individual's starting to stir up trouble again. There's an individual that some people we've managed to make friends with on the show tried linking us with when we first got started, who's been going off on these complete tirades lately because he's pissed off at a certain individual and physically threatening to beat them down because he's such a big, strong man. It's like, I'm sorry, you're a fucking stick. 1, 2, get your alcoholism together, man. Because if you're the way you're slurring your words, if you're not drunk, you need to get your ass to the hospital now. 2, and his whole thing is that, oh, my name's going to be remembered while these people are all gone. No. People don't want to. The only reason that memory types of sticks, the assholes memory sticks, is because people don't want to remember you.
I'm going to say
the ones who do follow with their heart and with kindness.
Yes.
Those are the ones that last the test of time.
I'm going to say this. Zach Bagans will be remembered in the years to come when he's long gone as a fake paranormal investigator that did it for fame and money. Whereas Mike the Naked Bigfoot was the real deal, and he helped people in the paranormal, and he told his stories which helped people. I started Ghost Squad Scotland, guys, because of Mike. He gave me the courage to go out there and start looking. And Mike the Naked Bigfoot will be remembered for a very, very, very long time because he was a genuine guy. It really was.
See?
You know?
See, Dots knows exactly who I'm talking about.
And, yep. Steam past the guy, drama. Exactly. Drama's fucking, yes, fucking drama. Pish, by the way. And a lot of folk just feed off drama. What's that?
Mm-hmm. No, it's reading.
Is that Pete? Dad never got violent with people.
Very
he pissed
true.
him off. He scared the shit out of him.
He had that. That's right.
Oh, God.
That man didn't have to do much.
Oh, my God. That night he was going on about the fake paranormal girls.
The paranormal titties.
Oh, my God. That was funny. I nearly died that night. See
God. If this doesn't get us banned on TikTok, I don't know what will.
Honestly, because we're streaming through TikToks right now, so that's quite good. How many watchers have we got?
Looks like we only had 13 people pop in.
But
well, that's one hell of a delay.
What's that? Be in a bit, for God's sake!
I posted that before we started.
Are we streaming through certain networks or getting removed or something? I don't know.
Probably will be.
I'm not gonna fuck it anyway. But I stopped ages ago. But I just honestly, guys, watch some of it. And it's true what Pete says. That smile that he had, you were like, "What have I done, Pete? What have I done, Mike?" And he'd be like, "Nothing."
most thing when he was just smiling, you knew something was up.
Oh God, that's weird. That my YouTube chats went all wonky.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the spirits. The spirits. You know. But honestly, guys,
that shadow that flew past my face, that was a weird one.
Please, for the love of God, everybody, please be nice and stop the bullying, stop their harassment, stop, and this is going out to somebody in particular, stop following people about the opposite sex about, because I know who you are. You block me. Don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Or I will name and shame you. You've already been named and shamed.
I've seen the proof. No, I'll say that. I've seen the proof.
Yeah.
Is your wife knowing about you messaging these people? Because I highly doubt you're just focusing your attention on one.
Yeah.
It never stops at one.
Yeah. It never does stop at one. And it's this is the thing. You don't realise how stuff gets passed about. Get what I mean? Because we talk to quite a lot of folk. And you're just going to end up destroying your career and all that if you're in podcasting or whatever it is you want to do. Please, and I'm saying this nicely, stay away. I don't want to hear again, because it is getting ridiculous. The bullying is ridiculous.
It is.
It is.
If you have a legitimate issue with someone, actually talk to them. If they're being an ass, cut your ties. If you have to say your piece and defend your case, why is that posting again?
I'm just putting up Paranormal Paranormal Researchers.
Guys, the chat's repeating.
What could you do for me here, guys? And I would take it as a personal thing. With Emerald Isle's Paranormal Researchers, she's getting close to 700 subscribers. Could you get a subscribe? Right. Let's get her to 700 subscribers before Halloween. She's at 643. Let's get her to 700 for Halloween. Just going to copy the link there.
It's good that you brought that up. And Jenny makes a very good point. People only can get pushed so far before something happens, and being that the holidays are approaching, that's unfortunately an optimal time where people start losing their lives the worst. Yeah,
it's like me. I don't show my emotions the way I do. Right, I'm quite a laid back person. Right, I'm laid back. Honestly, I'm more laid back than I used to be. And when folks start messing around with other people's girlfriends and stuff like that, it just get a bit annoying. It really does get a bit annoying. And believe me, I've seen the proof and I've seen the evidence, and stay well away. That's what I'm going to say. Well away.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where the one thing that will probably save you from a beatdown is that because of my size, I'd be easy to spot.
You're like the Jolly Green Giant, except the Jolly Green Giant's got hair.
Yeah. Hey, you see what happens when I fire off.
What are we doing for Halloween this year? On Halloween's Eve, I've got on Ghost Squad Scotland, I've got Lisa Fry coming on with Jenny from Emerald Isles Paranormal and Drew from Drew's Abandoned Paranormal.
You do know Halloween's on a Tuesday, right?
Yes, I know. We're doing a Tuesday show.
Well, I don't know yet. Hell, Pete, if you're on, that'd be one hell of a Halloween show. If you're up.
Look at Pete's book.
You must have got it from your mother. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady.
You tell them, Pete. You march down there tonight and you tell Bigfoot how you feel. I would take a machine gun with you and a couple of grenades or something like that, you know.
Well, over here you can bait out a Sasquatch with a chocolate bar, so. But then again, the ones over here really mostly keep to themselves.
Look, I used to talk to Mike after the shows, and there was one night after you left, it was just me and Mike, and he was telling me all about them and about how some of the workers out in the fields would see them, looking at them. I mean, is that them eyeing them up, thinking, There's my dinner.
No, it's a. Last week I went up to the mountains with the family. Just kind of get away, get out of the heat. Apparently, there was some mountain lions spotted not too far from where we were, and my relatives were like, "I'm trying to look for the mountain lion." It's like the mountain lion's gonna see you before it sees you see it.
Yeah, and before you can run away, it's going to be biting on you.
No, you don't run away. You stand your ground. You run away, you're turning them on.
If you're with your friends, you just kick your friend in the balls and run as quick as possible.
No. You can stand a mountain lion attack. You can scare
you get
them
bear
off.
spray. You get bear spray, but the thing about Bigfoot and all that, I mean, you think about all these cases where people have just disappeared. It's some dude at my back talking. I can't do nothing about that.
We're just wanting to address because we have a lot of people that freak out at every little
Bigfoot. I'm coming for you. Like,
well, Scotland does have its own Bigfoot.
What's that? I wish there's Pete again. I wish I had a mountain lions or even bears.
No, the Sasquatch scared.
This bears scared them away.
Sasquatch will probably have scared them away. But actually, one guest we had on the show a long time ago, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum.
That's right.
His one piece of advice, he says, if you're going to go out trying to look for Sasquatch, try to eye up locations a bear could probably sustain itself. As kind of a large omnivore.
Yeah.
But you also got to be careful because there's plenty of Bigfoot sightings that are just bears walking on their hind legs.
I just had an idea, but I don't know if this would work or not. And I hope Bigfoot hasn't got YouTube. That apple tree, Pete, has the apple tree still got apples on it right now? Because you could lace the apples with LSD or something like that,
Oh, dear Lord.
Honestly, you could.
You're wanting to lace up a Sasquatch on psychedelics. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You need to be committed.
I'm going to say this. Mike possessed me there. He did. He took me over for a split second. But no, that's a good thought. When you think about it, you've got this problem with Sasquatch, right? And they like the apples. Now, I don't know what they do with the apples. They maybe eat them. I don't know. Maybe they turn them into a drink or substitute or something that they eat. Why don't you get a couple of the apples, right? Put some tranquilizers into them or something like that. You'll get in the next day and they'll all be lying twitching.
Okay. First off,
it didn't depend on
I understand. That's why they're so riled up.
Maybe
they think something's wrong with the tree. They might be thinking something's wrong with the tree. Because an animal is going to be able to tell if their food's been tampered with. It's kind of like, you toss a piece of deli meat to a dog and the dog doesn't want it. What the hell's wrong with that?
No flowers either. I've got apple trees, Pete. I've got apple trees in my back garden. And they always flower. Sometimes
they're thinking something's wrong with the tree.
I've got apple trees in my garden, and they always flower. Sometimes they don't produce fruit, but they always have the blossom on them. They always produce a flower. I'm wondering if it's because your dad's passed. Maybe the tree knows that your dad's passed.
And actually, it's been proven that plants can tell stuff like that.
I tell you what, Pete, this is what I want you to do, Pete. I want you to go to and this is nothing today, but I said, I want you to go to the local farmer's market, right? And I want you to buy a big, massive crate of apples, right? Just listen to me. The biggest crate of apples you can lay your hands on, right? And place it under the tree and leave it there for them.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know. It might be an offering. And they might be like, oh, they brought me some apples. It's a wee offering. Might know.
As kind of a substitute, better idea would try to get more of that particular type of tree and start planting it in the area.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that Mike said. That tree, he couldn't identify it. He couldn't identify the tree. He couldn't identify the fruit, the apple fruit. Ever.
It's like I thought he said it was some kind of crab apple.
It's some type of crab apple. But he couldn't identify it. And you've got to remember, Pete Pete's dad, Mike, knew what he was talking about. He knew plants. Jesus Christ, he was one of the best known folk for botanists and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe there's something. Maybe it's because the tree's aware and it knows your dad's past.
Plants can sense patterns like that. It is possible.
What's this? Pete put in there. The violence began when we found 12 to 15-year-old pear trees ripped up out of the ground. 12. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's nothing to them.
I don't know if you could do something, Pete, and I hope you get it fixed, Pete. I really do, because that's just not a crab apple, but something very old and primitive.
I thought he said something that it might have been some sort of crab apple on the show.
I had a conversation with Mike one day, and he says he spent years trying to figure out what the apple was, and he can't figure out what it was. Years. And it's maybe it's a long dead apple tree that's maybe at one time America was populated with them and they all died out.
Well, they actually pointed out not too long ago that fossil records actually showed that cheetah actually came from North America, not Africa.
Yeah. I mean, that's Pete, go and do us a favour and do it for one of your first videos for your new channel. Go and do a video of the tree. And because I know your dad did a video of your tree, but there's something no right there. There's something no right. They are staying out of our living space outside. See, I don't know. This is where your dad would come in, because your dad would probably be doing like a wee ceremony or something like that. And
yeah.
But I know
playing old native stories about interacting with beings that sound like Sasquatch.
It makes you wonder if the tree's actually aware of what's going on. It's maybe what's the word? Mourning your dad.
I've actually heard plenty of stuff happen, Pete, like that.
Have you any seeds for the tree, Pete? Because you could grow maybe one in a wee pot. There's a try. You could plant another one just to...
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope you get that fixed. I really do hope you get that fixed, you know. So, what's on the agenda tomorrow? What do you want to talk about tomorrow?
Why am I the one all of a sudden picking all the decisions? Well, there's plenty of weird stuff going on in the world, so let's just kind of talk world events tomorrow.
Yeah.
Liven up the show after today's discussion, because I imagine there's going to be some gossipy little girls wanting to talk about us.
Oh yeah.
No, all I gotta say is thanks for the publicity, because when you go to talk shit about someone, you kind of start boosting up their numbers. That's why drama is so prevalent.
Yeah. And Pete, if you're in the chat, Pete, you're welcome to join us one night. But if you don't want to, it's absolutely fine. You could come on. We could talk about the apple tree and stuff like that, and other kind of things. And I hope you do get that fixed. I hope they don't kill any more of your animals, because I know that's your livelihood.
Yeah.
You know. And thank you for coming in, Pete.
I'm gonna be stuck thinking about that all night. God damn.
I'm going to be thinking about that day, because it's quite horrific. You know.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Chinese space station? Oh, we'll have to tell you that.
Well, I guess, yeah, it is past time for us, so I guess we'll have to talk about that and some of the other weird stuff that's been going on. My God.
Yes. Let's go.
Like that weird growl that just came out of Chris's stomach.
Wasn't his stomach? It's because I've drunk an entire can of zesty beverage.
Okay, so you just admitted on there that you like to talk out of your ass.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Oops. I accidentally hit this way too early. Oh my god. Whoopsie. What? Wait. Son of a bitch. How's everybody doing? We'll wait a little bit for the show to start. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, I accidentally hit the button, I think. I don't know. Show's starting early. I'm sorry. How the hell's everybody doing? Getting the camera up here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, Chris may be joining us. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Dots? How's it going, man? Oh, dear Lord. So, Dakota accidentally hit a button, and so this is the show starting a little early. How's it going, Dots? Oh, man. Oh, sorry. I am totally unprepared. I was not ready for this to happen. So, some of you probably have been asking if there was any fallback after the show last night. Yeah, there was. We already had some people complaining that we called them out on what happened, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes we have to change up things. You know, things just don't work out. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. I accidentally hit a button.
What?
Accidentally hit a button. We're live.
What do you mean we're live?
We're live right now. I accidentally hit a button.
When did you hit that live?
Like 3 minutes ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mad world of Bald and Bonkers. We'll just give it a couple of minutes, guys. It's a good job I come on early then, isn't it? I was going to be showing you my ones there. I was going to be showing you my ones.
Hey, you do not need to be busting out those things on camera.
Hey, I'll tell you something new.
Save that for your OnlyFans.
All the Wiccan ladies love the ones. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, I make ones.
They're awfully...
It's a hobby. You might see, honestly, I make ones, right? Again, you are going to think, right, this is the maddest thing, right? But the Wiccan ladies, they love these kind of things. Women, they love these kind of things, right? I've been working on this one. Now, this has taken me a week to produce. Oak, right? All carved, and then I put copper wire in it. See it there? And then I've just finished putting the crystals on it. All different types of crystals. I've made about 10 of them up already, all different ones. See? I'm actually working on this one. This one's, see, it's all sanded down, see? But it's still to be carved and stuff. Try to produce, you know? Cool. I'm actually going to be giving one away on my Ghost Squad Scotland on Halloween night to a lucky subscriber.
Well, it's a good thing I'm working that night, so.
You know, coming on. Yeah, I'm just going to tell Jenny we're on. Yes, Jenny, we're on. Dakota pressed the wrong button.
I was trying to get the live set up on the TikTok side, man. Leave me alone.
It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mad world of Dakota's crazy things. Oh,
See,
anyway,
this is what happens when
you
you leave Dakota alone. He will
honestly,
eventually try to rush things and fuck shit up.
I'm pressing buttons here. I was meant to share the show out. I didn't get a chance to share the show out. This is honestly.
You can still share the show out.
Hey, should I tell you that too? Hey.
Oh, fuck me. But at least buy me dinner first.
Of course, we're streaming. Where are we streaming through tonight? We're streaming through Ghost Squad Scotland Network. Remember, subscribe. We're subscribing through a lot of multiple locations, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even our TikTok. Even though I'm told we're having an echo issue on the TikTok side. Chris? Yo. Hey, did I lose you? Chris, are you alive? Hello? What the fuck?
What the hell happened there?
I don't know. You just froze.
No, you froze for me.
You froze for me?
No, you froze for me.
Oh, you froze for me?
You froze for me.
Okay, who froze, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat?
Who froze first? It was me. I was watching it on YouTube.
No, I was watching you on here. You froze.
No, you froze for me.
No, you froze for me.
He froze. John Morris, he froze. But who does that? He means me or he means
Okay,
Dakota?
come on, John. Dumb or dumber?
Handsome or ugly?
Bald or bonkers?
Honestly. I just
God.
don't know. Anyway, tonight, ladies, we usually have a rustle before the show. We usually, Chris. Oh,
See,
it would be me.
You froze.
Me.
You.
It's the, oh my God, it's the aliens. Hear the airplane going out. Can you hear that?
No.
Can you hear that right now?
See, your girlfriend agrees with me.
Yes, Jenny, I froze. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was trying to share out the live at the time. This idiot here went live. We're not meant to go live for half 10 minutes. You can't like to have a good
It's
yap.
been a chaotic week. Leave me alone. It's not even a full moon.
Yeah, for a good 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible putting me off the show. It's like a job I come on. What would you have done if I hadn't come on? You'd have done the show without me.
Yeah, I would have done the shun without
the
you.
Shun?
Yeah.
The shun. Honestly, guys, I think I went fucking mad.
Yeah, honestly. I have that effect on people.
See? Yeah, but you don't have one of these. You don't have one of these cups, like.
No, most of my exes would use those to throw it at my head.
I can see why.
Well, usually if it's short enough, that's all.
That's my drinking.
With the girls I've dated, they were so short, they had to get a chair. What?
You dated girls? My God.
Hey, most people are surprised you're straight.
What do you mean by that?
Do you know the number of people that told me they thought you were gay?
Just because I don't share my, you know, it's honestly, Jenny, terrible. Honestly, he's terrible. Hey, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, Jenny, well done, by the way. And I would like to say that shadow. What's your opinion on the shadow?
Okay, I will say this. In the interest of trying to state all the odds, there was a fly.
It must have been some fucking sizey fly.
It would have been like this close to the fucking lens. There was a fly in my room. Maybe that was it, but that moved kind of slow.
But you ever seen the old Alfred Hitchcock film? What's the one where the guy doesn't? No. What's the one? It's the black and white one, and the guy gets turned into a fly. And the guy's out in his garden, it's in black, and it's black. It's the fly, and it's the black and white one. And he's out watering his roses, and it's stuck in a leg. And going, help me. Anyway, I didn't even get a chance to open my Uncle Joe's mint balls. Where have I put my Uncle Joe's mint balls?
Oh, go ahead and just go suck on your balls.
I'll take. You're just jealous. You're jealous because I was at the Moffat Toffee Shop. The Moffat Toffee Shop. You're jealous that I've got Uncle Joe's
that place did look good.
Balls. You know, I was telling Jenny I was sucking on my uncle's balls the other night.
Yeah, and she's trying to say you're not gay.
What's that? Drew Mole. What about the guy who escaped from Wadsworth? Oh, aye. There's a terrorist dude escaped in Britain out the big jail. And they're trying to catch him.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Aye, Kenny, there was a baker's truck or was a garbage truck. I don't know what it was, but it was a vehicle of some description. And he clung underneath it and it drove out. But they've usually got cameras to check things like that.
That's what they usually hide in those because those are a blind spot.
Yeah.
Aye. I know my sister has one of those cards. I'm very concerned.
So I hope the police, if you're watching the police officer out there, I hope you catch the criminal at hand. I hope you catch him soon. MD that sees him, remember, don't approach him. Please phone the police first.
Yes. Don't be hero. Yes,
don't. There's actually a £20,000 reward for him.
Maybe you should get off your ass and go get him.
Nah, too busy making ones. Honestly, doing in England and Scotland is quite a distance. But honestly, if you see him and you think you see him, do not approach him. Phone the police.
Exactly.
Right. Don't be greedy and think, I'm going to get 20 grand. Approach him, then he strangles you. Right. Just phone the police and they'll deal with it. What's that? Emerald Isles. Oh Lord, he almost choked on his balls earlier. I was eating a sweet and Jenny told me a joke, and I nearly choked on them. I was.
Yeah. Oh, he's been caught. Good. Good.
You want some ASMR?
And Jenny, him choking on his balls. I really doubt that he's that flexible.
It would surprise you things I can bend to, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of get them out the wrappers. But anyway, space news, world events. What's your thoughts on the green comet that's just been sighted by a Japanese astronomer, and it's coming into our solar system?
Nishimura.
The Nishimura.
It was actually pretty beautiful to see.
Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it.
I have that Star Walk app on my phone that helps me track things. I use it to help with UFOs, but helps me track comets. That's how I first heard about it.
I'll need to try that. I'll need to try it. I will need to try that. But I was going to say something to you. The other night, I had a close encounter with the third kind. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. See that message I sent you? I thought I'll take the dog for a little trot. And it was that. It was about 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. Beautiful, clear skies. And I was just standing outside, out in the back garden. And you could see the Milky Way and all that. And I could see it coming out. And you know how you can follow like satellites?
Mm-hmm.
I seen a few of them. Right. And then I seen this thing coming out. And it was the same altitude as the satellite. There wasn't flashing. It was just constant white. Right. And I'm like, that must be the International Space Station or something. I didn't have my phone on me. And I thought, that must be the International Space Station. I watched it. And it just stopped. It just stopped dead. And I'm like, see, for like 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, it just sat there. And I was just like, looking at this thing. And it wasn't flashing. It was white. And then it started to move again. And then it just veered off and disappeared. And it makes me wonder, what did I see? I mean, it must have been some size to be that.
Yeah, that's about like the one I was talking about the other week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that lasted for about 45 minutes.
Aye, I was like, what in all that's holy? And it's always when you're not got your phone in your pocket.
No, I actually had my phone and I was filming the damn thing.
You wouldn't have focused in that. You wouldn't have focused in that anyway. You couldn't have focused in that. Have you heard what happened in the UK the other day? Interesting subject. This. It happened to me. It happened to the people in my village, and it happened to everybody in the UK. I woke up the other morning, and my car was covered in what they're saying is the Sahara Sands. Right? Have you heard about this?
No.
Right? It happens now and again. My car's black, and it was covered. It looked like there'd been a volcanic eruption. Right? That's how bad this was. Right? So anyway, everybody in TikTok and that's doing the thing. So if you get a credit card and you scrape a wee bit, which is a bad idea, guys, because what's in it is dodgy. See if you scrape it into like a wee pile and get a magnet and hold the magnet out, it all sticks to the magnet. You should not do that. It shouldn't do that. Yes, there's some iron in the Sahara Desert, right? There's some iron in the Sahara Desert, right? So anyway, I've been watching stuff about this, and there was a top scientist guy that doesn't really get on with the mainstream, right? And I'm amazed that we'll be asked to stay in there for this. He's got one of these special computers where you can actually analyze particles.
Yeah.
And he taken a sample of the Sahara because he's been there before. He knows what's in the Sahara, and he put the program in, and he taken a sample for outside on his car and put it in, and oh my God, it was full of aluminum. It was full of graphite. It was full of iron oxide, and it had like 10 million times more graphite and stuff that you would see in the Sahara Desert. And you've got to remember, they're saying that this has come up off the desert, then it's flew across the air, across the sea, and then it's dumped down, right?
Yeah.
He was saying he obviously did it so he wouldn't get into trouble, but he's saying that there's something dodgy going on here. It's as if they're spraying it in the sky to change the weather or something down the same roads.
You also have to consider it could very that the Sahara hands blowing up towards the UK, that's typical. But the way that spraying works, it could easily transfer and get cross-contaminated.
I'm just waiting to see what Dots was saying there because people are saying something in the chat.
Yeah. They're talking about ears ringing.
Aye, there's something going on. My car, like I've just put new window wipers in my car. It's going for its MOT this week, and I rinsed my windscreen because it was just covered, and it went like that. And I'm like, when the name of all is holy, and you could actually see it eating into the rubber. I've rinsed the car off, and a few people I know have rinsed their car. Whatever you do, don't use a sponge straight on it, guys, because it'll scratch the paint. There's too much carbon in it. I honestly think that they're obviously spraying. They're obviously trying to change the climate for this bullshit climate stuff.
I know.
They're up to something.
Speaking of which, we got to talk about this too. The claims of strange lights in the sky. The Morocco earthquake.
I've not had a chance to look at that yet. And I'm going to be truthful, I've not had a chance to look at that yet. Or the video that's coming out. But the ones in TikTok I have heard because you tell me. I don't know what really to believe.
Yeah, I know.
But
there's this video I've been seeing.
There's quite a few deaths. There's quite a few deaths.
A few thousand.
Yeah.
And I was checking on a friend of mine because her family's actually from Morocco. And some of her relatives are among those they're still trying to account for.
Yeah. There's something going on.
Now, it is not unheard of for strange lights in the sky to happen before a major earthquake. One of the major theories is that some sort of friction that comes from the tectonic plate activity itself that causes these lights. But there's a video going around, especially on TikTok.
They're back in 10
The first red flag for it is the Hollywood sound effects, like our good friend Dots says. If the chances are, if you had those sound effects in the video, it ain't legit. The second part that I find suspicious is that either this person is completely stupid about how to deal with videos involving this type of thing, but they use text to cover half the damn video. But from what you can see, what looks like kind of maybe a triangle or star-shaped craft in the sky, spinning around, and just sending down this huge beam of light into the ground.
Right. Ask yourself, right, I'm going to say this, right? Obviously, we know that the black government, whoever runs this world and all that, have got their own UFOs, right? Right? But we also know that there's good extraterrestrials that they're trying to help us, right? With the Galactic Federation and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
What would be the point of causing a massive earthquake in Morocco? What's nearby? Is there anything nearby that I don't know? This is why I'm suggesting this. What would be the point of doing this?
There are several ancient sites that way, especially near Marrakesh.
Right. So maybe it wasn't meant for the people above ground, but it was maybe meant for the people below ground.
They do consider it a shallow earthquake, relatively close to the surface. I think 6.8 it was.
See, it's interesting.
Now, obviously, this is fresh information. There's going to be more developments to the story if there's something involved.
Have you seen the videos? And this is tied up to the same thing. Have you seen the videos coming out of Ukraine lately?
Yeah, more UFOs in the sky?
Ridiculous amounts during the day. They're actually sitting watching the battle unfold. They're actually sitting watching the battle unfold. And this is the interesting thing, guys. I think I know why they're there. I think they're there to make sure they don't use anything they shouldn't. Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that's also one of the theories out there for ETs is that they're just interdimensional, time tourists.
But I mean, what I can't get is Morocco, right? I want to jump back to this for a second. Why would you use so sophisticated weapons in Morocco? I mean, it's like going to war with America and attacking the North Pole.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if this was an attack, what's the end game?
I think there's something. I think there's.
It's a highly populated area, and they're not very well equipped to handle the earthquakes. That's why there's so much devastation there right now.
Yeah, as Dot says, Earth portals are important to this world. But here's the thing, right? What happens if there's an underground civilization? And maybe this is the earthquake in Morocco is just like a side effect for what's really the devastation below.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
who knows? Who knows? There's so much to this, we just don't know.
I don't think the aliens will step in just before we go nuclear. I don't think they'll let us use nuclear weapons. I don't think they'll use nuclear weapons. But see if we go in a full-on war scenario where we're shooting each other, they'll just sit back and watch. Because I can't they're like, they'll just sit back and watch. But if we start using chemical or biological or nuclear, they'll be like, nope. And they'll probably stop it. Maybe more nuclear, but I wouldn't say.
Mm-hmm.
No. There is some fake evidence out there in Ukraine now with the UFOs, but there's some evidence out there now where it's like, holy shit.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. The people fighting this war want that fake shit to spread.
The thing is, Ukraine's only got 2 weeks left before it collapses. This is what's coming out. This is what's coming out. This is what's coming out now. It's only got 2 weeks left before the weather starts to change and it starts to collapse. I mean, they're running out of people. They're running out. Did you see what the Ukrainians have went and done? See how when the war just broke out, all the young people escaped Ukraine. They've sent them all letters saying that if you don't return, we're going to have you hunted down and put in jail because they need more for the meat grinder. It's absolutely shocking. And it's shocking that our governments are letting this away with. I ken nobody really likes the guy Trump and all that, but I don't think this would have happened if he had been in power, to be purely honest with you. I don't think this would have happened.
Trump would have been the only one to stop Putin.
Yeah, because Trump and Putin were pals. They knew that. The world was...
Fuck it. Trump got North and South Korea to start talking peace talks.
Yeah, and knew it's all got spiraling out of control.
Exactly.
What's this in the chat? Just think it was only a few years from World War II the Roswell happened. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think they've been watching... Look, I think there's been extraterrestrials living on this earth before we were kicking about, right? I think they've lived underground and they've always been about. And then when we started to get more powerful, the humans started to get more powerful, they thought, fuck, let's go underground, right? And that's what they did. And I think a lot of the UFOs we do see are them that live here. And they're no extraterrestrials, they're no aliens, they are for Earth. They're the same as us. It's just we don't converse with them, we don't really talk to them that much. Maybe we do. Obviously the governments are no tell us, but it's what's that? If Roswell didn't happen beforehand, but Drew, you've got to remember there was UFO crashes and UFO events before Roswell, going all the way back into the 18th century in the Old West. There was, what was the one where it crashed and it went down a well? What was that? Oh, Dots. What was the UFO that crashed in America? And the remnants was meant to have been put in a well, and the body of the extraterrestrial was buried in the local graveyard.
That was Roswell.
No, it wasn't. I'm talking about the one before that. No, it hit a windmill.
Wait.
It
was in Texas.
It was in Texas, and this was in the 18th century. Yeah. I can't remember when that was. That's annoyed me, that has.
Yeah.
Was that Tony Rodriguez? I missed that last night. Did you watch that live last night?
I've been busy.
I meant to watch that last night. I'll watch it back tonight. I'll need to
not
watch
all
that
this
back
sitting
tonight.
around on the computer all day watching videos.
I've been doing stuff all day today. I've even looked at TikTok today, except for some mad videos that folks send me.
Aurora,
right. Texas. Thank you, Dots. Dots, you make you've earned yourself a cup of tea.
He probably had one brewing before we even came on.
Nah, he's probably got a flask, But look, there's been UFOs have been visiting this earth. Look, there's ancient Egyptians and all that, and there's pictures. Look, we just need to look. Who's that famous painter of the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci painted UFOs in some of his paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously there was sightings then. So I will say this, the US government have made their own, right? And we are more advanced than what we say we are. Right? It's like Nikola Tesla and how they take all his stuff after he died.
Yeah.
It is slowly coming out, but it's got to take a while before it completely comes out. I think to be honest with you, you'll probably see it, Dakota, but I will not. I don't think I'll see it.
No, for how fast it's moving, man. We're going to be seeing a lot in the next few years alone.
What's the latest?
Think about it.
Is there no something that's meant to be happening in the new? There's been a lot of other stuff released. What's the other stuff that's been released in the UFO field? I seen something about it. Is there no more Senate hearings coming up?
Yeah, Congress is going to be back in session here very soon.
Yeah. So, what's going to come out then? We need an alien spaceship to land outside the place and for them to walk in. That's what we need. For everybody just to wake up, No, what's this in the chat?
It's just like what we were talking about yesterday, man, for how quickly people turn on each other when it comes to this type of subject. That goes to happen. That's instigating a war. That's playing right into the enemy hands.
I mean, obviously, I look at the UFO community and know that the extraterrestrials that are visiting us are extremely friendly, and they could have easily wiped us out a long time ago.
And they thought about it.
Honestly, all they would need to do is nudge an asteroid into the Earth. All that we need, eh? That's what they need. Can I talk about this, right? See how the dinosaurs were roaming this earth for millions and millions of years, right? What happens if that was done deliberately? Because you look at Mars. Mars at one time used to look like what? The Earth, right?
Yeah.
What happens if there was people on Mars, right? And they were like, fuck, this planet's dying, right? We need to get off of here, right? We need to get off of here. We've not got long left, but look at that. There's that, but there's loads of like crazy creatures that would eat you. I will fire an asteroid into it. And then after, like, say, 20 years, we'll go there and we'll land and we'll start populating it.
It wouldn't take much for them in order to create a cataclysm to essentially terraform the planet. And Mars, even mainstream, sits back and says, what?
Emerald Isles, Paranormal Jenny was in a different chat all by her own. Sometimes it doesn't pop up for me. I don't know why that is, by the way. It really annoys me.
We also go to more than one YouTube channel.
It's his fault, Jenny.
It's my fault for actually making this shit work.
I know. Can you imagine it with me? The call webs and electrical faults and... At least they didn't start the show 15 minutes early.
Hey! At least I'm in here doing it. You're the one that's been popping in late and hard and not even talking.
So, question. What about, and we were asked this last night, but at the end of the show, the Chinese space station.
We're bouncing around so much different subjects. Motherfucker. That's a very good question. What the hell was up with the Chinese space station?
I mean, they're firing. They say they're taking up the second module now and putting it together. I mean?
Yeah. I was not exactly glad that the U.S. is being given priority over space relations relating to the rest of the Earth. China doesn't exactly like that deal.
Do you know it is quite strange that America and Britain and that only go into space when they're after something, right? And China's obviously, they're going back to the moon. They want to build like a moon base and all that kind of stuff. Jesus, and all that's holy. They say we can't go back to the moon, but India managed to land a rover on the moon.
Yeah.
Come on. There's something seriously wrong there. I know it's no real people and stuff like that, but come on, can't Britain give India aid? Seriously, they give them billions and billions every year in aid. They've got their own space program and their own nuclear weapons. That's taking the piss, or is it no? And America has got all this money and all this stuff, but they can't go back to the moon. I think they signed a deal with somebody.
It's not profitable enough.
Well, but look at the stuff that's on the moon. You could mine the moon. You could mine it.
Who says the mining operations aren't already there?
That's very true. Who says that mining operations are only started already? But think of it. Look, there's an asteroid out there, right? That's worth, what is it? $25 quadrillion. You think it would be a race for space because we're running out of resources. So why don't we go and grab these rocks, tow them back to Earth?
It's only ego boost when it comes to the politicians.
But if everybody just put their bloody heart into it, we could do so much more. And this is what's wrong with this world, honestly. Yeah. Everybody's too concerned about being on TikTok and kidding on their characters out of video games.
Yeah,
have you seen that? Have you seen that? Corn.
I've seen it. I was the one that told you about that.
Corn. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
I was the one that told you about that, man.
Was it you? No, was you there? I don't know. I can't remember that. Well, anyway, honestly, I'm getting.
I need a new co-host.
Jenny, seek, get him, Jenny. I'm going to send Jenny on you.
Yeah, your ankle biter girlfriend.
She'll get you. Telling you, she will. She'll get you.
Yeah.
You know, but honestly, I just think we're needing to go out there. Okay? I mean, we could be doing so much more. They say the Earth's running out of resources, right? So why don't we do this stuff? LOL, ankle biter.
Now, let's stop and think for a sec here. Let's go into kind of the environmental crisis, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, we have this pollution, all this carbon in the air, that's causing climate change and all that. Yet, they're getting rid of nature's answers to it. Trees.
Yeah.
There's certain kind of trees that have like almost 50,000 carbon input they can take in.
Yes, it's that they're doing that in Canada. They're saying that they're putting
Canada,
the emissions tax up and
Australia,
all
some
that, and
places
cutting
here
the
in the
trees down.
US.
They're stupid.
Yeah.
Aye.
All these carbon emissions, but yet they're cutting down all the trees.
Mm-hmm. I learned an interesting fact the other day there, and this is going to blow some of your minds. Wind turbines, would you say they're economical?
Not really.
I'm going to shock you. See, I had a conversation. Like, obviously, I live near the windmills and stuff, and I had a conversation with an engineer that works on them. That's what he does. He builds them, right? And he was telling me that this is just stupid, right? That windmills draw for the grid. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
They've actually got because I say to them, they've got a big, massive diesel generator sitting, and I'm like, what's with the diesel generator? I thought the windmills turned the blades, and he says, no. He says, when there's no wind, we have to put power into them to keep the power coming out. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And he says, in the winter time, they don't really produce power, so we put power into them to keep them spinning so they don't seize up. And I'm like, so you're telling me in the winter time, all these windmills that are turning are not producing any electricity? Oh, once they get to a certain temperature, they do produce electricity, but as soon as it cools down and as soon as the wind stops, they have to start turning them again. So what they do is they reverse the polarity, so it's not producing, and it's just like an electric motor that starts turning it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually
you got to keep those things from getting freezing over. Otherwise, if those things break, ugh.
I've seen them on YouTube where the brakes inside fail and they get faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and they'll no stop, and then they'll just explode. The blades will just explode.
Yeah, have you seen the one with the horses that are hightailing it away from?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, we have a wind farm not too far from me, and we've had a couple bursts like that, and you could hear it. Miles.
There was one day I was sitting there. You came where I live, kind of rural, and I was sitting there in my car, and I seen this big petrol tanker, and it drove past me, and it said Shell on the side, it diesel, right, and it just appeared, and like 2 hours later, it came back again. And I says to the guy, I says, what's that doing? He says, it's a way to fuel the generators to keep the windmills turning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, this is the madness. Windmills don't work. They're shit.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Dots?
I mean, maybe in warmer climates where it doesn't get below 60 degrees.
Yes.
Like
in warmer climates, they work better. Yeah. But in colder climates, they shouldn't be up because they're shut.
Because, where you're at in Scotland is not too different from where I'm at.
Yeah.
When it comes to the weather.
Yeah. It's madness. And it's this climate change. And I'm just going to say it right now. See, this climate change is a load of bullshit. They say, the seas are rising. The seas are rising. They're going to flood everything. Do you know there's pictures for 18 like 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beaches, right? And the water, the new is actually lower than what it was. So what's the deal there? I mean, is there something I'm missing here? There's top scientists said, and they've actually lost their jobs through this, that the climate change is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It is bullshit. But obviously pollution is happening with plastics and stuff like that, and that needs to stop. And we do need to stop using certain fossil fuels in that. But it's getting ridiculous. There's mere harm to the environment with electric cars. Do you know in China, they've got fields and fields and fields full of like over 1 million cars, electric cars, because they're paid. They're paid. The global people pay them to use these electric cars. They just buy them, make them, put them in a field, keep the money for themselves, and they use them.
Yeah, China's pollution. Oh yeah, they need something over there bad.
There's a new person in the chat there, 61011 9. What does that stand for?
No fucking clue.
Hello,
new random person. Hi.
But it's honestly, I honestly just don't know what's happening. The world's messed up.
Like someone said in the chat earlier, there's so much information coming out from all sides of things. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah. You've got to remember you watch the mainstream media, and you've got to remember the mainstream media is fake. It's fake.
90% of mainstream media is owned by BlackRock or Vanguard.
Much love from Hong Kong. There's somewhere I've always wanted to go to Hong Kong. The beautiful
I've been through Hong Kong before. It is beautiful.
What was the ship that used to lie off the shore of Hong Kong? It was a cruise ship. It sunk. What was it? 6, 10, 11, 9. It sunk. It was a cruise ship. It was on its side, but I think they scrapped it and they stripped it down. It was in James Bond, remember? They used it. It was kind of like a bunker kind of thing. Oh, what was the name of that ship? That's annoyed me now. It'll come in my head. Hong Kong's a beautiful city.
Yeah, when the pollution's not overtaking it. They actually, in Hong Kong, they actually have they have these like canvases of the city skyline where there's no pollution in order to allow tourists to have somewhat decent looking photos because the smog gets there so bad.
Yeah.
But something else weird that caught my attention. Did you hear about this?
What?
They have managed to create a living human embryo without a sperm or egg cell.
So how does that work then?
That's a very good fucking question.
So what's the person got to turn out like?
They usually don't let them grow full term. That's the thing.
Aye, but here's the thing, right? There's been reported wee flashes of light, right, at the conception of birth, right? So you could go down this kind of road, that's where the soul enters the body. So if that's happening when they do that, their heads are killing someone. Or what happens if it doesn't happen, but the human still comes alive and they haven't got a soul? It's just started a new sci-fi theory there.
It's not necessarily reported. There's actual video of that spark of light at conception.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an animation or anything. It's sophisticated camera equipment.
Yep.
Again, it makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder. I mean, it makes you wonder if you could grow a human for what you're saying, and then an artificial AI could program that human.
I mean,
oh my god!
I mean, we already have that situation with AI right now that can create entire loads of content, and all that content can easily be used to prime someone. So what would happen if that child, for lack of a better word, was allowed to fully grow? They tried to say, you know what? Let's see what happens.
I don't know. I don't think it should be allowed. You're just messing with...
That's the thing.
I'm going to say this right now.
We don't know what will happen unless we were to break that ethics.
I'm going to say this now. I was watching a wee bit of that stuff last night with that Rodriguez guy and stuff like that, and they were talking about clones and stuff like that. And it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. I bet you they're doing it right now. I bet they're cloning people. I bet they are. That's interesting. What's this about the Vatican space station? I never heard about that one. What's this one? Do you know about this?
The Vatican has had several interests with space. They have their own observatory Fuck,
He
they used to
says
work with
that
the
the
Nazis.
Vatican is in Area 51.
See what I mean about information getting spewed out of all sorts of places without any resources?
I ken that the Vatican have said that if aliens come, they'll recognise them as Christians and stuff like that.
Yeah. That belief in UFOs doesn't necessarily negate belief in religion.
Like, unless that's meant to mean something else. Am I reading that wrong? What the feet? I'm not happy with America right now. Join the ever-ending queue of people across the world that are pissed off with America.
Join America.
America, land of the free. It's more George Orwell 1984 material now. So, and it's the same in UK. The UK is the America's lapdog. They just jump and do as they're told. Just look at the pipeline.
Yeah, you gotta consider. America was once the rebellious teenager of the UK. Now the UK is that desperate parent trying to get back into that child's life.
What's that? John Morris. I'm always certain that the angels of the Bible are ETs. If not, I agree with you. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna piss some folk off now, but ken something, I don't give a fuck because I did it last night and I actually felt quite good after it. So I here's the thing I'm going to say is I'm going to say some of the Bible I think did happen, right? 99% of it was made up, so as the control man. And control, because look how the Bible says that your wife should act and all that kind of stuff. Can't I mean they should obey men and all that kind of stuff? It's made up to suit them, right?
You also got to consider the number of contradictions that are in the Bible.
Okay, I'll love to.
And many of the stories have no. I'm just saying. I'm not justifying any of it. There's also you also got to consider many of the stories that happened in the Bible were written down at least a few hundred years after they actually took place. Now consider how bad people nowadays are at retaining information they try to spread around in gossip. Humanity mentally has been the same since its first inception. Very little evolutionary changes up here. So chances are, back then, people sucked at retaining information and may even have gotten pissed off at the fact new information gets brought forward that doesn't fit into their delusions.
Yeah, it's like the game of telephone, isn't it? But over
religion's the longest running game of telephone there is.
Yes, and there was a man, he fell from the cross. And then the next person picks up, yes, and there was a man that fell from the cross that was stabbed by a spear. And then the next person picks up, there was a man that fell from the cross that was stabbed by a spear, and an angel came down from heaven. And then it just goes on, and he rose for the grave, and blah, blah, blah. And they added this and they added that, and knew it's a big, massive. You ever read the Bible, by the way? You feel like shooting yourself afterwards. It's just ridiculous. I read it once, never again. Never, ever again. The amount of
study up
shit
on most
that's inside
religions. You know,
honestly,
they actually say, when it comes to the Bible itself, just by analyzing how it was written, they say that the Bible, as we know it today, is essentially the work of 5 different authors writing about very similar events, all copy and pasted into one thing.
Yeah, it's like you should take the Bible, and I don't care if all the Christian folk are going to chase me about with burning torches or not, and change the name of the Bible and change the name of the Bible into the words "How to Control Man."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some stuff in the Bible. There's some stuff in the Bible like actually not killing, all that kind of stuff. That's the commandments and stuff like that. That's good. But come on.
But you can even tear apart "Thou shalt not kill," as in "Thou shalt not commit murder."
Yeah.
With defending yourself, you should have every right.
Yeah.
But as in the act of just going out to kill, just to kill people, you can pick that apart.
Yeah.
Just as the same, if a man shall lie with another man, they should be stoned.
Well,
The original translation.
If you're watching, it doesn't mean actual stoned. It means stoned to death with stones, not joints or anything like that.
No,
I had to say that just in case
the original translations of that is that a man should not lie with young boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Bible originally preached anti-pedophilia.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? I'm just reading in the chat there. John has caught a lot of stuff about the reincarnation ETs having children with humans, which is true. I mean, I've been fascinated with this because I think there's a lot of hidden history in this world. I think you ever heard of the mud flood? Has any of you ever heard of the mud flood? Because it's actually, I don't ken that much about it. If Harley's name's Lewis and all that, he kens about this kind of stuff. And it's fascinating. There's actually evidence out there that the Great China Wall, right, wasn't actually built by China. It was built by an empire called Tartaria, right? And it was to keep the Chinese out. Tartaria used to be Russia and parts of that. It's actually really interesting. I'll see if I can find a guest to come on and talk about that. I was actually hoping that Lewis would come on and talk about it because he actually knows quite a lot about this stuff.
I don't know. Lewis seems to be getting paranoid anytime we try to approach him.
He's awfully busy than the new. What's that? Windmill cause? What's that?
Windmills cause cancer? What fucking doesn't?
African causes cancer now. Probably the zesty beverage that I'm drinking that now is probably getting me cancer.
Zesty beverage, the earphones we're wearing, the fact that we're sitting around all this radiation in order to do this.
I've got an EMF meter and I turned it on the other day and it was flashing around everything.
The fact that we're sitting in these chairs, the food
plastic,
we eat,
everything,
drinks we do,
nylon,
everything.
Stuff they're spraying in the atmosphere.
The rubbers you put on just before getting intimate.
What's that? Electric is not working. Don't know what that one means. But what do you think of the Japanese releasing all the radiation into the sea?
3-eyed fishies, come get your fishies. Oh, look, it's Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Aye. It's honestly, I just don't know, guys. This world is truly fucked. It really is. If we don't start getting our act together soon, because the younger generation, oh Jesus and all that's holy. I'm using names from the Bible. I'm using names from the Bible, just in the reason being is have you seen this totally changes the subject. Have you seen the video on TikTok and it's the guy who's getting ready to go to war? And it's got the veterans. It's got the veteran for World War for two and all that. No, sorry, Korean War and the Vietnam War. Sitting watching them, and he goes, "I'm going." And what does he say? Pearl Harbor. If I was going to fight in Pearl Harbor, it happened in the '60s, and I'm like, oh.
How about that one dude that was saying, "Oh, this is going to be my outfit if I were going to the electric chair."
I know.
Huh?
Honestly,
I don't get it, and unfortunately, here's the part that I find ironic. Okay,
mm-hmm.
You know, we joked about the film Idiocracy, where the world's become a society's too stupid to even have sex. When you really think about it, sex is such a primal thing that they consider the most highly intelligent people less likely to reproduce. That's a legitimate statistic.
Yeah.
They're wanting to dumb the population down so they don't question what's the government's going on, yet they're wanting a population reduction by 2025.
But that's scary in what they want. What they're wanting, even nuclear war, wouldn't they cause?
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever's going to. I think something's going to happen soon. What's your idea about September the 23rd? Have you heard about that?
I keep hearing about that.
I don't know what that's all about. By the way, the change is coming. The change is coming. we're doomed. It's like last year, the guy was going on about the rapture's going to take place in such and such date. The day came, and then he's like, oh, it's going to happen next year, God tell me. And then the next year came, and it didn't happen. And then he went, why? But God says he's changed his mind. It's happening next year. And he did this for about 10 years straight.
Yeah. Speaking of which, fake psychics and all that.
Why?
That's why I find it funny that Uri Geller is starting to make it airways since the UFO topic became big.
I know I sent you that video on Uri Geller.
I was like, that was Uri Geller's video, man.
I know. You're
trying to say, that wasn't Uri Geller. That was Uri Geller!
I ken for a fact Uri Geller is fake. There's like a lot of fakes out there in the paranormal, right? There's loads of them out there. There's fake ghost hunters that get folk to do stuff and fake things. There's folk in the UFO community, fake stuff. It's... I think he's trying to jump on the bandwagon, right? Because all this UFO stuff's coming out. No. I watched an old video the other night.
Generation of idiots to fool.
I watched an old video the other night there. Can you remember a guy called, this is maybe too old for you, The Amazing Randy?
Oh, yeah, James Randi.
And he was
he was the one that called out Uri Geller.
Yeah, and he called out Uri Geller, and he called out a lot of people. There was one guy who doing it was in the 1980s, and it was this Chinese guy, and he could blow. He moved his horn, and the yellow pages opened, right? He says, "I find I'll give you $10,000 right now if you can do that." And he's like, "Oh, no bother." And he said, "Oh, but wait now, I just need to do one thing." So he opened the box, and it was full like
packing peanuts.
No, he opened the box, and it was full like polystyrene, very light polystyrene. He sprinkled it all around about the book, and the guy's like, he's trying to do his magic because obviously he was blowing it.
Yeah.
Without us seeing he could blow it. He was like, all my psychic energies are going.
Yeah, he was saying that the foam from the packing peanuts was throwing his energies off. No, I think we need more James Randys.
We do need James.
I genuinely do.
We do. And he didn't believe in the afterlife, but he probably is believing in it because it does exist. But
he probably believes in it now because I'm not mistaken, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. But he was good. He put it all the way up to $1 million. You know, he put it all the way up to $1 million. And
I mean, he called out Sylvia Brown years before she finally went down.
It's honestly, he was funny. You should watch him. You get a look at him on TikTok and stuff like that, and it's funny. He's funny because you see these folk trying to do stuff, and they're like, "Oh, the psychic powers! I'm not getting them beyond." I'm going to say this: last night's show was good because there is so many fakes and frauds out there.
There is
so many fakes and frauds out there. And as I say, you get them in the UFO community. Yeah, I know we're jumping onto that subject again. You get them on that community. And I admired some people that wrote books and stuff like that. No, I don't, because of the way they went on. They were basically acting like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
You know? We're here to try and open the awareness for people, to trying to make people aware that aliens exist. But there's people out there that only care about being rich and famous.
Exactly.
And that's what's destroying everything.
And honestly, while the ETs understand that this is our world, there's a certain way of how things work, they're not exactly a fan of people trying to get rich off of this shit.
Yeah. There's so many fake UFO people out there, see, especially on TikTok. I come across them. I meant to tell you and Elena about this, actually. Elena was sitting one night, and I tell you, or was it, what was her name? But it was Elena, I tell you about, and I says I came across them in TikTok, and it was, they were basically saying that the Greys are here to help us, the Greys are amazing. This is them, they don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're talking about their ass, basically. And everybody was sending them money. Oh, yes, I'm the emissary from the Great Greys, and they have made me Lord of the Earth. If you send me some money, they will look at you Fakes. Yeah, they're fakes.
Exactly. It's like I was saying. These people are counting on the fact that this shit's hard to test.
Yeah.
And when you have the surefire signs that, yes, something supernatural is happening, then your life is on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, there probably are several ways that we could have verified all of this in the mainstream to the satisfaction of mainstream scientific method, but
Hey, Smith family.
the amount of moral and ethical things that we would have to cross in order to surpass that.
The world, you're always going to come across these folk that fake stuff for their own gain, and that's all they want. They don't care about the folk around about them. They just care about themselves being glorified and remembered. But I can tell you something right now: there's a lot of people out there in the smaller YouTube community that's going to be remembered a lot more than a lot of these famous people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can tell you. When you go?
I was just going to say, that's all, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, that's what makes this thing so hard, is that people are more likely to fall for the fakes.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that one video I was talking about where they're trying to say it was out of Morocco just before the earthquake. You can make that with Windows 95 computer. You can make those effects that easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it this way, and maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, down the scenarios, if God willing, the Earth does survive, the human race does survive, and we're not stupid, right? They might look back in this and they'll be like, "Oh, there's the famous folk of the time. They were basically doing it just to become rich and famous. Look at these two guys. Look at the Smith Family Paranormal in the chat. Look at Mike the Naked Bigfoot. Look at these people that had small channels, or Emerald Isles Paranormal that had small channels. These were the people that were groundbreaking then. And we'll be watched because this is digital, obviously, it'll be kept. So it'll be like Star Trek kind of scenario, they'll be able to look back. Will we leave an imprint ourselves? You know? Out of curiosity, when does the Bald and Bonkers thing go to the moon?
It's already launched.
So how does it actually get onto the moon?
It's actually part. Basically, there's an effort to build an archive of human existence on the moon, and in order to help secure funding for it all, they kind of opened it up to where civilians can send in their own stuff, like memories, photos, stuff like that. It's up there.
But how do they actually get it onto the moon?
Using one of Elon's rockets.
So it lands and then that's it, it just shuts down, it sits there?
No.
Yeah.
They start building up a facility. It's actually my understanding they're trying to make it look like a glass pyramid.
No, that's a good idea, actually, because then any extraterrestrials that visit the system, they would notice that.
Yeah, because the plans were to launch archives to the moon, on asteroids, towards Mars, and outside of the solar system in the event of some great cataclysm wiping out the Earth.
See, that's quite interesting you say that, right? Say, for instance, we're stupid and we kill each other in a nuclear war, right? And 5,000, 10,000 years down the line, humanity is building again. It's building its space empire. And it's starting off again, and they'll land in the moon, and they come across this. They'll be like, oh, look, ancient technology. And it'll be all covered up. And they'll use that ancient technology as we used. You see where I'm going with this? Maybe that's where we've been getting some of our stuff from. Maybe it's not just extraterrestrial stuff that's on the moon. Maybe we found former Earth people evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we think that these great mystical artifacts are some ancient secrets.
Yeah.
Yet, it was just the early models for Cleopatra's dildo.
Yes. And now don't you be anybody in the chat there getting horny. We've got lurkers that don't speak, so don't be getting horny.
No. let's just say there was plenty of honey. She would use bees.
I like honey.
You're just enjoying that visual, aren't you?
I will admit that. I had a visual there, and it was rather lovely.
Poor Jenny.
Honey's actually really good for you. Is it diabetics can eat honey, and it doesn't. Yeah, honey's actually is it Muka honey or whatever it's called? That's quite good. You know. So, do we have any guests lined up for next weekend? Is there any coming on?
We shall try. Nobody's answering their fucking emails. So I had to check to make sure if any of them ended up in spam somehow. That's happened.
Spam. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to get some people in. We should have an open panel one night to discuss what the Earth was, where it's going, what the future holds for humanity.
I know we definitely got to get some guests up because we got to hype up the fact that our 2-year anniversary is coming up.
We need to get a special guest on. We need to get a special guest on. I would love to interview a flat earther. That's my dream, to interview a flat earther.
I've been trying, man.
I would love to interview a flat earther because it's just so stupid. The Great Wall, and inside the big wall there's another world. But the aliens that's coming through space to get us. And then they're like that. But we can't get out of space because there's a dome. But the aliens are coming to get us. See? They say the Flat Earth Society has got followers all around the globe.
Yeah, repeat that slowly.
There's karma reading there. Was sex is overrated, too much perversion. Everybody's just silent.
I know. I'm thinking Kareem is a little behind on the live.
Maybe a good 10 minutes behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by how the chats are coming through, but oh well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Remember, check Bald and Bonkers out. The network's out. Remember, check out all the links if you want to go to make your trailers or anything like that too. Or the TV network. Do you have any news in that front?
Our Bonkers TV Plus is coming along smoothly. Might have to launch a Kickstarter or something to help get the rest of the funding together.
How much do you need?
At least $500 to cover the server fees and all that.
Right, Dots. We'll make the tea. Swing your handbag at the local truck stop.
That Springsteen looking dude could probably pull it off.
There's a free cup of tea, but yeah.
Bruce Springsteen impersonator.
If
they can make money impersonating Elvis.
There's Emerald Isles Paranormal because it's popped up on my phone before it's popped up here. See that?
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times.
So everybody, have a safe week. If the alien reptilians come to take you away, don't worry. Dakota will be hiding in his bunker somewhere.
I'm from Idaho. Bunkers are everywhere.
But that's very true. Tornado land. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you through the week. Ghost Squad Scotland will be live on Friday night coming. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I'll think of something. And we'll catch you all very soon. Stay safe and stay away from the horny aliens. That's you, Dots. Stay away from the aliens.
That's no fun. Well, you're no fun, man.
You know you like your probes.
And hey, you're the one that's been complaining of constipation lately.
What's that?
Somehow that reminds me.
Dots, I've a few handbags you can borrow. There you go, see.
Speaking of which, that also reminds me. If you subscribe to our top tier on Patreon, you can now have access to the Bald and Bonkers library.
Ooh.
Means you're going to have to up your subscription.
What's on there?
Oh, a lot of the latest books we've been putting out. Have access to the books. digital downloads of the books before they're even out to the rest of the public.
Confession of the Galactic Federation. He wrote it.
Macro energy, micro penis.
Yeah.
Coming out this Tuesday. Don't worry.
Yep.
You won't need a microscope in order to see this.
Exactly. So we'll catch you all soon, guys. Have a safe week. And I hope the aliens all visit you tonight.
Much love.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.